Welcome to the Fennel Shooting Podcast. Fueled by Fiocchi, the industry standard that champions trust. If you're a clay target shooter, then we have something for you. Speaking with some of the best in the industry about the game you're passionate about. Follow us at the Clay Lab on YouTube and Spotify. The Fennel Podcast is also brought to you by the Clay Lab, Ranger, Krieghoff International, Briley Manufacturing, Long Range, Rainier Shotgun Sports, Mech Outdoors, Greenwood Custom Stocks, Electronic Shooters Protection, and Westside Sporting Grounds. Here's your host, Will Fennel of the Fennel Shooting School.
All right, folks, here we are. Will Fennel with the Fennel Shooting School podcast. Got a great guest, good friend of mine tonight, Mr. Connor Daniel, fresh off just kicking butt overseas, won both the world championships in juniors. Connor, good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Looking forward to having a good conversation.
Yeah, man. So I haven't drugged through all the books, but I can't remember, I'm sure somebody has, but I can't remember anybody winning both the World FITASC and the World Sporting in juniors in the same year. So that's a hell of an accomplishment, buddy. You've been working your butt off.
Yeah, I'd say so. I was definitely fortunate too, and I can't really think of anybody in recent history that's been able to do it, but yeah, I'm definitely fortunate to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Was there anything that you did you approach anything different because of having the two big shoots that close together? Did you practice FITASC more or sporting less or?
Well, mainly I always try to practice FITASC and sporting kind of 50-50, but I kind of just kept my normal practice routine going into it. Started a few weeks out, shot probably 3 or 4 times a week. And I've been shooting a lot more towards the beginning of the year this year, so there's a lot more shoots. I've had a lot more time to kind of get my game where it needs to be before Worlds. So yeah, I kind of balance practicing FITASC and sporting. Yeah, I feel like just practicing FITASC just as much kind of helps me feel just as comfortable. I know a lot of people are kind of uncomfortable when it comes to shooting FITASC because lack of practice or lack of technique or discipline or whatever you need to say. But yeah, I feel like just practicing at 50-50 kind of helps me shoot both the same level.
I know enough about how you shoot. I mean, kind of the way you shoot a lot of your sporting shots, you're kind of approaching like some people would call a FITASC shot. I mean,
Right.
you're out of the pocket a lot of the time and that kind of thing. So that works out. Pretty intense. What, 3 weeks we were gone?
Yeah, it was definitely a haul. I was definitely glad to be back, but it was also a lot of fun, and it's also a great experience being able to go over there.
Yeah. England was conditions were just kind of awesome. I mean, they thought it was hot, but it was nothing for somebody from the southeast. Cyprus, on the other hand, it was freaking hot. I don't care where you're from or who you are, that was hot.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, it's probably one of the hottest conditions I've ever shot in. And what was pretty funny about it is there's no carts, so there's no AC or anything, and there's no shade either. The
It's the
trees are
shade.
There's no trees and there's no shade. You got to get pretty much under these small bushes they have and kind of get your chair inside of a bush or under whatever tree you can find. And it felt like it was 110 degrees in the shade. So
Yeah. Yeah. The
yeah, it was
sun's
definitely
just
challenging.
stronger the closer we are to the equator down there. It's just the sun
Yeah.
just beats you into the dirt.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
for folks that haven't shot overseas at a lot of world FITASC type events, I mean, basically there was some water on the course, but you couldn't count on it being there. I mean, I would go out with 3 liters of water basically
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I'd
I did
leave
the
in the
same
morning.
thing. I brought 4 or 5 bottles with me every single day.
Yeah. And it wasn't enough.
No, no, it wasn't. It was about gone by the time I finished my first parkour.
My second peg of the event, lady in my squad fell out, heat stroke.
Mm,
We had to get her in an ambulance. The ambulances were busy.
really? Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Dude, I mean, you really lit it up, both places.
Yeah, it was definitely cool to see because especially since last time I went over there, we had England again and we had Hungary, and
Yep.
I was on the junior team. I didn't do so well my first time around, but I feel like kind of going over there the first time and Italy the year before that I went. So I'd say just putting up years of experience of going over there and kind of getting into swing of things kind of helped me this year. I felt way more comfortable. I wasn't as nervous as I normally was. And yeah, I was just kind of able to go out there, do my thing and focus on my routine and what I was doing. And I figured that if I just kind of let it happen, it would do good. And it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, and I mean, you didn't just go do good. You also kinda because of your extra experience, because you'd been over there overseas a few times to shoot, kinda were able to help your teammates quite a bit, right? I mean, it looked like you were kinda giving directions and helping out, and every time I turned around, they were all gathered around you and, I mean, everybody shoots their own game, don't get me wrong, but the travel and the, "Here's where you go, here's what you do," kinda thing, you were like you were kinda leading the pack there. I mean, all of y'all
Yeah,
did
I
great.
was. Yeah, we did. I was trying to answer some questions here and there, giving them tidbits of advice, but most of the kids on the junior team, other than Turner, he's been over here time I came over. But yeah, they're all pretty new to it. It's their first year, either on the team or going overseas. So yeah, it was pretty cool to kind of see them come over here. They were kind of looked like me when I first came over here, kind of like didn't know what was going on or kind of had that look on your face, but
Yeah,
they did very well for their first time coming over, so
absolutely.
we're very proud of them.
All right, folks, we'll be right back after a sponsor segment. Folks, are you missing clays and wondering where everything's going? ShotCam can help. It's a lightweight camera that attaches under your barrel to record every shot with the red dot reticle showing where your barrel is pointed at the moment of truth. Just turn it on. It automatically saves everything. Pretty dummy proof. Instantly replay the videos on your phone, and they are clear enough to even see the pellets in the air. I've used it myself and love how it shows where I'm doing right or wrong, and I use it with my students a lot to prove to them what they're doing with the gun and where their pellets are going. I recommend it for my students to practice with, and you can link it up as much as you'd like to. Get it at shotcam.com with code THECLAYLAB, one word, for 10% off. Average shooter could probably see as much as 10% improvement after the first 30 days of using the camera. That's ShotCam, spelled shot, then cam with a K. Absolutely. I think the junior US team is going to have quite a run for quite a while now with that.
Yeah,
As young as
it
all you
is.
guys are, I mean, how many more years do you have as a junior?
I have 3 more years, six
Uh,
more world championships,
there you go.
so I just turned
Awesome.
18.
Awesome. Fantastic. You kind of got ready a lot. Got your new equipment this year. Got with
Hmm.
Mr. Greenwood.
Yeah,
Got
I
all that
started
set
off.
up.
Yeah, for sure. I started off this year getting a brand new Beretta DT11, and we went up to your place, got Jim to fit me for a stock, and had a new custom fit stock, bully, checkered, all that stuff. We've been playing around with it a little bit this year. It's starting to turn out really well, and it's really comfortable, and I'm liking it a whole lot.
I was watching you shoot some, and I tell you, the gun just doesn't move
Mm-mm.
under recoil, and that's just the coolest thing. I mean, just especially in sporting, because now your pairs are more consistent because you're not wrestling the gun back around, after recoil and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
shooting. It's almost like shooting an auto, but it's not an auto.
yeah,
It's an over under. It's a big over under. So
yeah.
yeah, it feels great.
That's cool. That's a cool process. Cool you got to do it. And I tell you, a touching story is you had some personal stuff going on with somebody passing away while you were over there, and you were able to channel that and deal with that. I know your dad had to leave and come home, and I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on, bud. Tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, one of our close family friends, his name was Mr. Randy. They got the news early one morning before I shot at the World English, and they told me after my first day of shooting, and
Did he pass away?
it's always, yeah, it's always kind of like you just want to kind of just shut down when something like that happens. But basically, my mindset going into that last day of the World English and also going into the World FITASC the next week was just kind of I'm over here. I'm gonna do the best I can, especially for everybody else that was close to him. Kind of make him proud. He would have been rooting for me to do well. So I kind of felt like I needed to do good for him.
You sure did, man. You sure did. And then the next week too.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing to be able to shoot good considering the circumstances. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, I know he's proud, and as is everybody involved, but for
Mhm.
you to have the maturity to handle that, it's pretty strong, bud. That's pretty awesome. So everybody's gonna want to know which one did you like the most, World English or World FITAS?
And
Which shoot did you enjoy the most? And then you can answer the going question. Which game do you like better?
Oh gosh. So I'll start with the shoot part. I think is always hard to answer because I mean EJ always puts on a good show. It's one of the most well-run shoots ever. Beautiful grounds. We get to shoot on the other estate, and it's really cool to go over there and see that every couple of years. But then there's the World FITASC. The World FITASC is usually my favorite event of the year, and there's just nothing like it. There's way more countries. It's just a really cool experience, the opening and closing ceremonies. But I don't even know if I could pick a shoot from this year. I might just have to say England because of how miserable the conditions were in Cyprus. But yeah, I'd say England for sure. But and
Now,
then for
everybody ought to get like a an award just for surviving
yeah,
the one in
you like a
Cyprus.
you get a
That was
participation award for that one. That was tough. But yeah, and then you asked me basically what's my favorite one of the two, the game. A lot of people like sporting more than FITASC because of how technically challenging FITASC is. But I would argue that sporting's just as hard as FITASC, having to repeat pairs and be able to have the repetition to run stations and almost run courses in some instances. But I would say mainly out of the two, FITASC is more of my favorite. You get to see more birds. It's more of a it's more of a live game replication, which is kind of what Sporting Clays was made to do. And I think that it's just honestly more fun too. That it's more technique and hard work that goes into perfecting your mount and perfecting each bird in pairs, and it's definitely rewarding to see it pay off and you shoot good in FITASC. So
I'm with you. I think, FITASC is near dear to my heart. I think one of the cool things is something you hit on that most people never mention is there's so many more countries and you just have such a diversity of people there. Is really kind of neat.
right.
Um,
Yeah, it's cool to see every time you go overseas or even in the US, like when you're shooting the World Sporting, it's just English shooters. So everybody in your squad speaks English, you can interact with them. But for the World FITASC, you might get lucky you have one or two English speakers on your squad. But everybody's from different countries all around the world, and you never know what you're gonna get. So
and mandatory random squatting, and yeah,
yeah,
you walk up to the
yeah,
peg first, say like, okay, what we got? So,
right,
lots of fist
right.
bumps, lots of thumbs up, thumbs down, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So, I tell you, the
definitely.
targets were pretty phenomenal. They were great at both, but man, the World Fit Test really had some targets.
Yeah, I think it's always like that at the World FTS. They always kind of step it up a notch
Yeah,
from what we
for,
normally
for
see.
45 yards was the new 30. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They always and in years past they've had honestly harder targets, I would argue, but it's still a it was still much of a challenge this year. Everything was consistently at 50 yards, so the average bird was way harder than normal, but I wouldn't say there was many. I mean, obviously there was a few very hard birds that you thought you had to put in the work to hit, but there wasn't anything that you kind of looked at and thought you couldn't hit it. Where in years past, there's some birds that are almost 90, 100 yards that you're like, there's no way I'm hitting this.
Well,
So
maybe you're 18 now instead of 15 and
yeah, that comes with more experience too, I guess.
old
But
man.
yeah, yeah, it was definitely cool this year for sure.
And one of the things you mentioned, how we kind of had a front loaded year. We had a lot of good shoots,
Right,
already. So we were kind of greased up and in good form. That brings us around to something I was going to talk about with you, the World Cup situation, World Cup process. So all the countries have to have their World Cup events, their Grand Prix or their Continentals before the World Championship. And since you've kind of started making that a little bit of a priority, that was three good FITAS, two Interbird FITAS shoots you'd had before you went to Cyprus. So that probably contributed to things a bit.
right. Yeah, I think it's always harder going to three extra shoots a year, and I know people kind of count those out because they think of it like that. But I think it's definitely cool to shoot more 200 bird task events and just shooting at more tournaments, more putting yourself under pressure in certain events, and that kind of helps you get comfortable, get your mount right, get your game good where it needs to be. So
Since you've
I
been
think,
kind of going down that road for a little bit, why don't you explain the whole World Cup? Because you won the World Cup. Congratulations.
yeah,
And
thank you.
explain the World Cup process for us, for the Americans that might not really know about that.
Yeah, so basically the World Cup is kind of an award they give at every world championship, FITASC, World FITASC. And it's the culmination of one Grand Prix that you go to. You can go to any Grand Prix in the world, and it's your best Grand Prix. And then they add your own continental score that for us, that'd be North America. And then they add your world score and they combine the three and they put it against everybody else in the world. And that's your World Cup. So basically, in the U.S., we're lucky enough to have two Grand Prix since we're not so easily able to travel to other Grand Prix in other countries because they're all pretty far away. And we have our own Continental, which is at M this year. The Grand Prix were in Mississippi, and I guess one was here in Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Georgia. So yeah, we combined those scores. Dominic Grossi shot him really well this year. He won both the North American and one of the Grand Prix, so he was sitting pretty well in the World Cups. Zach shot him well. I shot him pretty good this year. Not as good as I shot him last year, but I still came out on top for junior for the World Cup. So that's definitely always cool.
Yeah, it's something, I don't know. I mean, Digweed has told me that he kind of values his placement at the World Cup as much as he does his performance at the World Championship because you really you really kind of got to do good at the World Championship if you want to have a shot at one of the World
Right.
Cups. So,
Right. Yeah,
um,
it's definitely almost just as hard to win the World Cup as it is the World Championship, I'd say. And what I think is really cool about the World Cup is they have FITAS has this thing called the FITAS World Rankings, and they put all your points for the last 3 years on this world ranking sheet with all the other shooters in the world. And it's pretty cool to see how you stack up against kind of all the shooters from whatever country.
yeah. In the Open, you're ranked in the world rankings right now. What place?
I think it's number 8.
8. Yeah,
Yeah, number 8. Yep. And I've been, I think, number 1 in junior the last 3 years. So.
yeah, yeah. It's really cool. I mean, I've got some students that really track themselves on that. Ones that like to shoot VTAS, and
Hmm.
I don't want to say it's a participation thing because you got to do well at them, but
Right.
there's people out there that you wouldn't kind of initially think about as being high up in the world rankings that are because they play the game.
Right. Right. Yeah. You still have to go and place well to get up there.
So that's an amazing accomplishment. When being first junior for last 3 years,
Hmm.
yeah, stronger than battery acid right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So what's left this year?
We got 3 more regionals. We just finished up the North Central. That was an awesome shoot. Great targets. We got three
It really
more.
was good targets, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was. There's always good targets at Game Unlimited. Just kind of every single day, there's like no breaks. Just foot on the gas the entire time. And you walk up to a station, like you can miss 2 or 3 on every single station. So you got to be on your game.
You bet you got to run some stations, but man, that was a hard shoot to run them at. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime you walk out of a station, you go, well, I only drop one, that's good. Well, if you go to the next station, you go, well, I only drop one, that's good. If you keep that crap up, you're not going to shoot very good. But
You can
the
almost drop
targets
one on every
were of the
station.
magnitude where you could go, yeah, I could see dropping one there.
Right. But yeah, but it's also where you could see a really big score shot. Somebody like Brandon shot 64 out of 66 the second day. That was an incredible score. Zach and Todd, I believe, shot like not 65 out of 68 on the last day. But I mean, other shooters can fall apart. I've seen good shooters shoot in the 50s, like really low 50s, and those targets can kind of eat you up.
Yep. Thought the Fit Test was really good. Thought Super Sporting was really good.
Yeah, it's just they got a lot of that new property now that we saw last year at the World FITASC, and they're throwing pretty good targets on it, and they're learning how to kind of make use of whatever terrain and whatever they have to play. So they had a lot of good setups from last week, good stuff that I wish we could see at more regionals, but definitely not a lot of people have the same opportunity that they do.
Sure.
So
And the right attitude.
right.
Last year after the World Fit Test, I stayed and shot. And he left everything up for like
Mm,
3 days. And on Monday after, I shot the whole World Fit Test over again with a student.
wow.
And almost every peg, we would look at the targets and go, those are like 10 or 15 yards closer than they were during the
Yeah.
tournament, you know? As soon as you take
Yeah.
that scorecard away, it all looked a whole lot easier. But,
Yeah. Once you
and that's
change
something,
your
by the way,
perspective.
everybody, Pete usually does at Game Unlimited. Brett Seibert usually does that at Northbrook. Anytime you can, if you've made the investment and the time to go to one of these big shoots, if you can stay the day after and shoot some of those targets over again, it's a pretty good learning experience
It is for sure. I've rarely been able to do that because of
because of school.
school and having to get back, but every time I'm able to do it, I do it because it's great. It helps your game a lot, and you can kind of go back, go through the motions again, kind of figure out what you did wrong.
Yeah. A couple of those trips we did to Elberton probably were pretty good preparation for Cyprus, you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think any trip overseas, you're seeing terrain like that. So going up there, that big quarry they have, it's just shooting below your feet. You don't get to do that much in Georgia, so
No.
it's good practice.
Yeah. Hermitage Farm has got all that stuff on the bluff. Shot there a bunch leading up to it. Shot Elberton a couple times leading up to it, and I felt about as prepared as I'd felt in years going over. And
Right? Yeah,
so
yeah, and you shot pretty good too. So
yeah, I had a pretty good World English anyway. Got beat
yeah,
up a little bit at World FITASC, but still,
yeah. It's never a bad 2 weeks when you get to win a world championship, right?
that's right. Yeah, but not many of us get to win two, dude. You just I don't even know if that's completely sunk into you yet. But
uh,
you ought to just get a T-shirt made up that says, "I won both world championships the same year." Wear it now that you're in college. You can wear that at college, probably pick up chicks.
oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, it's starting to sink in a little bit. I've been thinking about it the last few weeks, but obviously I got a lot more years left, so it'd be cool to
Sure,
go win some more.
absolutely, absolutely. Get on that digweed program. When did things crank up for shooting at Georgia Southern for you?
So today was actually my first day of school. Just started my classes. We have tryouts. I believe it's 2 weeks from now, and then right after that, we're going to start practice. First tournament, I believe, is in early October. Really looking forward to that. We're putting together a pretty good team this year. We're going to shoot all the shoots, get down there at nationals, and see if we could place. We're moving up to Division 1 this year, so
Oh,
we're up there with the big dogs. So we're going to see if we can give them a run for their money this year.
there you go.
I think we can.
That'll be a whole nother damn level of hoopla for you.
I know it's going to be a different atmosphere for sure, but I'm looking forward
Well,
to the challenge, especially shooting trap and skeet and
yeah,
all that stuff. But nothing I haven't done before, so just got to get back into the rhythm.
and I haven't watched you in England and Cyprus. I peg you to be pretty much a team leader for that Georgia Southern team to
Yeah, I'll try my best.
get them out, make them go practice, take them to Elberton.
Yeah, we can do that. It's not that
Yes.
far.
No, how far is that? Probably
It's probably
2
2
hours.
hours. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, we're gonna be hopefully getting around to other clubs too. We could practice locally. We could practice at Forest City, and or we can go up the Meadows, any of those places. There's definitely good variety.
Absolutely. Thing changing. You're not going to change guns, I hope, but we have to go through that shit
No,
again. Um,
no, not changing guns anytime.
just more of the same, or
Just yeah, I guess so. Just trying to hit it hard as I can. I just moved out, so that's gonna be a big change. Having to practice by myself a little more, and but I'm kind of liking it. It's pretty cool. I know mom doesn't like it,
she's proud of you.
but
She just
yeah, it's a lot of
she's
fun. We're gonna try to balance college and shooting. I think in high school I kind of thought my job was shooting, but now my job's got to be school. So
absolutely because
yeah,
there's plenty of time after college too. But
that's
I
right.
know you'll still be hammering it pretty hard. So we pretty much got this year lined up. We got a couple more regionals, got the nationals. You come over to shoot South Carolina State.
I think I'm signed up for it right now, but we'll have to see what the schedule allows.
Yeah,
But I'd like to come over. Hermitage always does a good shoot, so
yeah.
I'd like
Maybe
to
if
come
you just
over.
got over shot the FITAS over the weekend or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be
it's not
good.
that far. Is there any this is where I was going with that. Is there anything, next year got you interest, Pete? I'm
Uh,
sure Portugal for the World FITAS.
yeah, I was
I've
gonna
been
say
there. I've shot
Portugal.
that club before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Portugal before, so that'd be a cool experience. If it's anything like Cyprus or Hungary, then it's gonna be awesome.
It'll be more like Hungary than like Cyprus.
Okay,
And it'll be there's terrain, but it's not like mountainous, you know. It's kind of bumpy
got it.
hills and stuff. So it'll
Got
be
it.
good. I think the Open next year at Game Unlimited with Jamie Peckham coming to set targets will be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot like the World FITASC last year.
Yeah.
Good list of regionals. Obviously, the end of this year's looking pretty good. I'm looking forward to getting up there next place. W Rise always does a good job, and Backwoods I think is where the Southeast is.
Yep.
So
I'll be at
there's
that one.
all good venues. So looking forward to it.
If we could send Rick over to run the logistics at Cyprus, we'd had him a little bit better time.
Oh yeah,
Hemingway runs about as smooth a shoot as you want to see. People could learn from him on that.
that's
For
right.
sure.
You can always learn a thing or two from these club managers. They all do a great job, especially Rick.
Yep, he does. He could maybe get the mud squared away at Game Unlimited for Pete. Pete'll get it right. It was just a little overwhelming with the amount of water we got in that short amount of time.
I know. Maybe you should need to rent out ATVs next time instead of golf carts.
I tell you what, if you'd have been a Polaris or a Kawasaki or a Can-Am dealer set up there, I think you'd have sold out of carts. People would have just bought them.
Made a lot of money.
I'm giddy for you for winning those two back to back. That's just winning them, period. Either one of them, that's awesome.
Right.
Win both of them the same year within a week of each other is freaking amazing.
Right. That and both the junior teams went in too. So it's cool to go over there and win pretty much 4 world titles. So yeah, it's really cool. Our team did really well, especially the first timers, like I said. But yeah, it was an awesome experience. Hoping I get to do that again sometime.
Yeah, and people hear us talk about this and they go, well, I'm not on the team, so I can't go. Everybody can go. This thing's not limited, and especially what's cool at the World FITASC is you show up there, random squatting. You might be shooting with, Richard Faulds or George Digweed or Connor Daniel or Zach or whoever. You never know. So these are opportunities.
Worth going for the experience.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of younger kids that, I've been told the same thing when I was younger, that just go over there. You're going to make the team one day. So it's a good experience to kind of go over there, get into kind of the flow of things. And next time you go back over, if you're on the team or not, you're way more experienced. You're more likely to do well. So.
Absolutely. Well, buddy, anything else?
That covers it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Do this some more often. Maybe after you go out to Nick's, you give me a report. I'm not going to be able to go to Nick's. I've got something I got to do corporate entertainment wise that week. So maybe get you on and you give me a rundown of how that shoot went. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, buddy. Well, good to talk to you. I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. And congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Take care.
Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to the Clay Lab. That way you never miss an episode. We'll catch you here next time on the Fennel Podcast.